So without further ado, I would love to hand the baton to Angela Pointon, who is going to be talking about something that is so important in our businesses, rocks, the proper marketing, rocks, metrics, how to get there. There's so much we can be measuring as we talk about it, authentic brand. It's really important to understand what you should be doing versus could be doing. And when you start to focus on what you should be doing, then that's what's really going to get you traction and help you to move forward as a business. Okay, Angela.
Thank you so much. It's good to see everybody today. Let me work on sharing my presentation. Everybody can see?
Yes.
Very good. Wonderful. So my name is Angela Pointon. I'm the president of 11 out of 11. We're proud Lyft partners and very proud to be part of this community with all of you. We sit in the growth seat. So when you think about your company's growth seat or seats, your marketing, your sales, your revenue generation seats, that's what I think about all day long. And so what I wanted to share as we approach the middle of the year, if we can believe it, is a little bit about some of the things we should be thinking about with regard to marketing, how it's performing, various rocks and metrics and measurables. Okay, so just a quick intro for us. As Meg said, we primarily focus on two things. So we help companies with their HubSpot, which is a CRM tool, and supporting that tool and building things for them within that tool. We also act as ghost authors for our clients, creating thought leadership content, marketing content, and SEO content. So those are our two lanes. We are HubSpot Platinum certified. Obviously, we're tinkering in that tool all day long. Obviously, women owned and a proud Lyft community partner, as I mentioned. And we're also based in Philadelphia, although our team is remote and they work all along the East Coast. We were proud to win Philadelphia's 100 fastest growing companies next year. And with any luck, we'll win it this year too. We'll see. All right, so when we're thinking about the marketing that we should be considering as we approach the middle of the year, and how do we help our team measure that and keep an eye on how growth is going, we're going to start with the first part of that. What marketing should we be considering right now? So we do a lot of content work, as I mentioned, for our clients. Our writing team is our biggest team. We spend a lot of time creating content. And you probably can imagine why. If you're not doing content marketing at your organization, it's kind of table stakes these days. It wasn't as much 10 years ago, but now if you look at any of the surveys, 80 to 90% of businesses have content marketing as a critical part of their marketing strategy. Why? Because we need to be establishing that thought leadership for our prospects and for our clients as well to continue selling to them. And perhaps a equally important metric, we need to be thinking about that from a Google strategy, because Google really cares about the amount of content that you add to your website on a routine basis. They notice when there's blips and bursts, and then it stops for a while. It's really important to keep that content rhythmically produced, which is not easy. But a really critical part of any marketing strategy. So what do I mean by that? What should we be doing? What are some examples of what content could look like for your company? So let's take a look. I gotta get my window out of the way. Here we go. So ideas for content that you and your growth seat members may consider. Things like new website pages. Are there pieces of the website where you guys do services at your companies, but it's not really clearly articulated? I can't tell you the number of clients we work with when on a kickoff call, they say, there's some pages on our website for stuff that we don't do anymore. And there's some services or products that we offer that we're not highlighting, or they aren't on our website at all. We kind of just talk about them, but we don't show the world that we do them. So maybe a quick look at that and what's missing and what can be produced. Second one, new downloadable offers. So when I say that, I mean things like ebooks or white papers. Are there higher value pieces of content that can be written into a guide for your company's audience to help give people something of more value and help them get closer to the company? Email campaigns, right? Tried and true, but still work today. So how often are we emailing our clients? How often are we emailing our prospects? Can we step that up a little bit? Maybe doing an email newsletter every month, or if we're creating new content for the website, at least sharing that over email with our audiences. Social media posts. So we all know that there are some of us perhaps who are really lively on social media and some of us who don't use it at all. And then some of us who are in between who kind of lurk on social that look at what everybody else is doing, but heaven forbid we post something ourselves. When it comes to companies, it's a really powerful platform to help additionally provide a new channel to get the content out to the world. So for some companies, obviously, Facebook is more appropriate if you're looking for more of a consumer base. If it skews younger, things like TikTok and Instagram. Or if you're more B2B, then of course we look at LinkedIn as a strategy to execute on there. Next, we have ads. So if we're running ads, maybe we're considering Google so that somebody searching for something can find the company right away. Or maybe we want it to be a little bit more targeted where we're picking an audience on social media, you know, saying to the social media platform exactly who our customer is, and then doing an ad on social that way. The other option is on other websites. So if there are communities that you can post banner ads on, associations where a lot of your prospects hang out, perhaps there's a sponsorship opportunity on that website. Events or webinars. So we're going back in person a lot more. Conferences are really starting to become more and more in person, which is great to see. So is there an event strategy for the second half of the year? Or does it make sense because you guys serve people all over the place to have webinars and really make it accessible for everyone, no matter where they're at? Is that a strategy for next year? Maybe it's both. And then implementing better marketing technologies. So I mentioned HubSpot earlier, but there are other CRM tools out there and email marketing tools as well. But is there technology that can help you employ, and more importantly, what we'll talk about in the second half of this, measure the marketing in a more systematic way? So those are a few highlights of things that I think about all the time in that growth seat. But that list could go on. And of course, we could talk all day about marketing for sure. All right. So when it comes to marketing, one of the cool things that I really enjoy about my field is that a lot of it is quite measurable. And so whenever we're employing new marketing for any company, we always want to identify what the goals are. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But without really having a conversation about it, somebody might have certain expectations, the other person might have different expectations. It's really important to get on the same page about the goals and get those goals articulated clearly on the scorecard. And then identifying what's the key metric we're going to look at every week. You know, what is it? Is it, if we're posting new pages to the website, is it traffic to those new pages, for example? If we're putting out an email campaign, are we looking at open and clicks? So what are the specific metrics for the marketing that we're doing that we're going to take a look at? And then what does it mean to be on track or off track? So we have to have what is our goal for that specific metric? And therefore we can score things green, we can score them yellow if they're off a little bit, or red if they're really severely off, so that we can always work to make things better. All right, so what if we do all that and things are off track? Or maybe you have all this established on your marketing scorecard now, but you know some things are off track. The first question I think to ask is it the right metric? So sometimes what I witness is companies will make an effort toward making a new web page, and they want to add a lot of new eyeballs to that page and measure views on that new page. But really, in order to get those views, we need to promote the content that's up there, right? We need to send an email campaign to current clients to let them know it's up there, do a social media campaign. So we've created this thing, but the goal is a little off because the metric needs to be about the promotion toward that goal. So really asking, is this the right metric to be measuring, or should we really be working on something else and having something else on this scorecard? And then what are the likely reasons why it's off track? Is there something in the macro environment that's causing the metric to be off track that we really don't have a whole lot of control over? Or are there things that we need to do to really get things moving in the right direction? And if you're really stuck, is there an outsider that can take a look and figure it out? Marketing is so vast, but there's so many experts in various different things that sometimes it's just good to chat with somebody and have another viewpoint about, hey, what do you think about this? We're trying to move the needle here. It's not budging. What do you think we're doing wrong? That can be really helpful. I've actually put together a guide. I'm going to drop it in the chat here. It's geared towards companies that are running on EOS. If you're running on a different operating system, everything in the guide still applies to your company, I promise. But it gives you an idea of some of the specific marketing metrics that could be on your scorecard. So if things feel a little vague to you right now and you want to really dig in and look at some specifics, I think this guide will be a great help to you. Okay, and then I mentioned like hiring an outsider to help. That's, just having a conversation saying, hey, what do you think is off here? Another avenue to take is a lot of people in the marketing discipline do things called audits. So if you have launched a new website this year, for example, and it's not meeting the metrics that you thought it would, a website audit could ferret out some user experience issues or, issues with clarity on what you're trying to convey on that website. Same goes with content. If you've been emailing or doing social media, trying to promote the company and it's just not taking off, an audit of that content can really help bring to the surface sometimes some really easy things to fix. Same goes for ads with regard to targeting strategies or how even you're bidding on the ads and the dollar amounts that you're willing to spend on things like Google. And a CRM tool audit would be the last thing that comes to mind, where there might be opportunities, excuse me, to automate some things that you're doing using a tool instead of doing it the automatic way, which oftentimes, we forget about certain things. We forget to follow up with people when they've downloaded something or interacted somehow in our marketing. So I'll just, in closing, throw my contact information up here. If anybody wants to have a conversation offline, happy to help anybody in this community, of course, and please reach out as a resource to you.